right, time for another Ask Rachel. Since my last one, I got a lot more questions, and I'm still going through some of my past ones. Let's go ahead and breeze through these ones really quick. First one is Dennis says, how do you feel about console exclusives? Would you enjoy it if all consoles could play all games? If all consoles could play all games, then I would only ever need just one console. I kind of like console exclusives because it allows the developers to focus in on one console and making sure that game delivers the best possible experience for that console. When, I mean, perfect example is Uncharted and well, everything Naughty Dog's been doing on the PS3. They push the PS3 further than any other company, and if they had made that for both consoles, that game would not have been as perfect and as amazing. But because they were able to build that game specifically for that console, it's just the best game it could possibly be. It's like asking me, would I rather, if I had the money, just go buy a dress that fits people that are around my size? Or would I rather go buy a dress that is made specifically for my body? That's a no-brainer. I mean, if I had the money, I would want all of my clothes tailored to my exact body shape because they're going to fit me better, because they're made for me. I hate one size fits all. One size fits all never fits me. I'm shorter than average. And I feel like if all games were available on all consoles, then all games would be a one size fits all, where we have games that can be such amazing experiences mainly because they are tailored for one console. And so no, I would not want all games to play on all consoles. Next is Anonymous, who has 3 questions. His first one is, after seeing your Cami cosplays and your butt in that picture where you hold an Xbox 360 controller, I'm wondering if you would ever show your full bare butt. It kind of looks the same than it does in a Cami suit. I mean, the Cami suit is just me in a thong, so the only thing you're actually missing there is the actual butt crack, which isn't really hot. I mean, it's a butt crack. It's kind of like whatevs. So, yeah, I think my Cami suit, you basically see my butt. His second question is, how often do you wear sandals? How often do I wear sandals? Not a lot very often. I don't know. That's a good question. Depends. I mean, if I'm on the beach, then I'm wearing flip-flops. I don't know. I don't think sandals are super, super cute, so I don't wear them a lot. But I will wear, like, little strappy high heels. I wear those quite a bit. Does that count? And his last question is, would you ever cosplay as Lily from Tekken? I would think you would make a great cosplay for her. Sure. I would think it would be a super cute cosplay. I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of other cosplays that I'm really wanting to get done for this year, and ones that are on the back burner, so if I don't get them done this year, I want them done next year. I don't know. Maybe I'll add her to my roster of ones I want to do, but we'll see. George S. has 2 questions. His first one is, do you have any of the Borderlands 2 DLC? I have all of the Borderlands 2 DLC. Are you kidding? Borderlands was one of my favorite games last year. Was it last year? Yeah. No, not this past year, as in 2013. Last year, I guess 2013 is last year, but it's also this past year. I don't know. The year Borderlands 2 came out, it was my game of the year. Loved that game. I've got all the Borderlands DLC, including like the silly stuff that they did for the holidays, like the turkey one, the one for Halloween, and the one for Christmas. His second question is, if so, which ones and do you like them? Oh, I just answered that. Yes, well, I love all of them because it's Borderlands 2. I will love anything Borderlands 2 ever does. Ever. Except for Borderlands is a Telltale point-and-click game. I don't see how that's going to work at all. Not at all. Mainly because Borderlands is so heavily focused on the combat and on the weapons, and especially the weapons and the guns. Borderlands is all about the guns. I can't remember the name of the gun, but there was this awesome gun you got. You know the noise that the midget psychos used to make, the little noise? It's really annoying, I'm sorry. But there was a gun that when you shot it, it made that noise, and that is awesome. I don't want a click adventure game with guns. That's no fun. I just don't see how Borderlands is gonna transfer well into a point and click adventure game. Telltale does great games. I think Wolf Among Us is better than The Walking Dead, but Borderlands like that? No, I don't want that. Next is Jed E, who has 3 questions. Favorite Star Wars film and why? I've been asked this before. It's really hard to answer. Well, first of all, the easy part is 1, 2, and 3 are shit. I will never like them. They don't belong in my Star Wars memory, so I don't like to mention those. Out of 4, 5, and 6, most people say Empire. But I gotta go with A New Hope. It was the first one I ever saw. It's the one that started my obsession with Star Wars, and it's really the start of the story. You can't have Empire without A New Hope. You can't have Jedi without Empire. So I think all 3 of them together are my favorite Star Wars. Does that count? We'll say it counts. Number 2, do you have another job aside from YouTube? YouTube's not my job. It's definitely something I do because I love it and it's fun. My job aside from YouTube is at con season. I do get hired to go to cons and interview developers and do con coverage and stuff like that. I would say that's probably my main job, is I am an on-camera host within the video game industry. Matt C says, how can you be so into horror movies but pass out when you see your own blood? Well, in horror movies, it's somebody else's blood. Somebody else is dying. Someone else is being gutted. Not me. I don't like my own blood. My own blood means that I'm bleeding. And obviously, if I'm bleeding, there must be pain somewhere. And I don't like pain. So my own blood, I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Other people's blood, I'm totally fine with it. I prefer it be their blood rather than mine. And lastly is Wonderful Wardy, who has 3 questions. Number 1 is, would you ever consider playing a retro game live? Doesn't have to be really, really old. I totally plan on doing some retro game capturing. I mean, I've wanted to all along. It's just a little bit more difficult getting those hooked up and captured because the technology is different. Like the inputs and the outputs and everything is completely different than what a lot of these capture boxes have now. So it is a little more difficult, but I plan on doing it. I want to figure out how to do it, and so yes, answer yes. Second question is, do you have a lot of friends, associates, who completely do not understand your gaming lifestyle, hobbies, and interests? And if you do, how do you deal with this? I do have friends that aren't into it or don't understand it, but the friends that I have met and have that aren't into it, it's kind of refreshing. I mean, it sucks that they're not into gaming and stuff, but it's refreshing because a lot of times, you know, when you're doing like YouTube and you're doing a lot of social media stuff, you get so wrapped up in it and you start meeting people that's their life. Like they start judging you based on how many Twitter followers you have. I hate going to a job interview and the first thing they ask me is not my experience, is how many Twitter followers do you have? My skill in a profession, even in the social media profession and in gaming, should not center around how many Twitter followers I have or how many YouTube subscribers I have. And so it's nice to have friends that don't give a shit. They don't give a shit how many Twitter followers I have. They like me for who I am and not because they're hanging out with, you know, Rachel from YouTube. So it's cool. I actually don't have to deal with them. It's very refreshing. His last question is, how would you say you balance your gaming purchases? I mean, honestly, I've been gaming for so long that I kind of just know what I would like. Very rarely will a game come out and I'll look at it and be like, that's not my kind of game. And then I'm proven wrong. Usually I can tell if a game style is something I'd be interested in because I know my gaming preferences and I just already know what style of gameplay and controls I like and I don't like. If someone says, hey, it's turn-based like Final Fantasy, instantly I'm like, that's not my thing. I'm not into like the Japanese culture-driven games. Nothing against that stuff. It's just not something that's ever spoken to me, like anime, and I don't know how to explain it. I'm just not into the culture-heavy games, and I really hate turn-based. So I could already tell, oh, it's a JRPG. That's not really for me. The game comes out and people, I mean, if I'm playing a game and a lot of people say, oh, it's like Borderlands, I'm in. I'm in. Sign me up. I know that that style of gameplay is something I'm going to be interested in. I can already pretty regularly judge a game based on what I've seen and played so far at cons and press events to be able to know if it's going to be something I'm going to be super, super interested in. Every now and then though, you guys surprise me. You guys are like, no, Rachel, you've got to try this game. You will love it. Trust us. I trust you. And 9 times out of 10, you guys are always right. You guys were totally right with Minecraft, and you guys were totally right with Spec Ops: The Line. That game was amazing. So guys, if you want to ask me a question, go ahead and email me at rachelmoore@gmail.com and put Ask Rachel in the subject line so it doesn't go to spam. And I am making my way through your questions, so just be patient with me. As always, thanks for watching. I totally love ya.